And just land here, show up, give yourself a moment to be present. And if it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes or else just lower your gaze, focusing on nothing in particular. Giving yourself space to be in this moment and be in this practice today. And perhaps if you were here last week when we worked on our mantras, you could invite back the mantra that you discovered last week, either thinking about the word or phrase that you chose, or even reflecting back on the image, that ball of energy that you invited in last week. Maybe just inviting the image of that and the energy of that back. And as you begin your practice and engage your breath, just reflecting on that energy being present. Maybe the ball floating in front of you, or perhaps just saying silently to yourself the word or phrase that you came up with last week. And if you weren't here last week, maybe just selecting a word or phrase that could be your intention for class today. Something that you would like to invite in. Reflecting for a moment, selecting that mantra or intention, and just saying it to yourself silently as you focus on your breath. Inhaling, inviting in the energy, and exhale, releasing, sending it out to the world. And continuing in that way, inhaling, and exhaling. Again, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. And one more time, inhaling and exhaling. And inviting that mantra, your phrase, or that ball of energy, or the intention that you set for yourself today to follow you through the practice. Maybe coming back to it in different poses, bringing your attention to it at various points. And maybe as we practice and I cue you for different breaths, that could be a cue to reflect back again on your mantra or your intention. And see how that ball of energy or that phrase follows you through the practice. And again, this is a practice. This is experimenting. There's no right or wrong. We're just playing with these mantras that we came up with last week. And it may not be something that sticks or something that is quite right, but just give it a try. And if you were here last week, try using that same mantra again, or the image of that ball of energy again, and see how it feels. And together, we start to invite some movement along with our breath. So with our inhale, and again, you can keep your eyes closed for this, or you can start to open your eyes, having a soft focus. Together we inhale, our arms come up overhead. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, reaching up nice and tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more times like that. Inhaling up. Nice big inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhaling up, really soaking in the air, filling your body. Exhale, hands to heart center. And taking a breath here. Nice deep inhale, filling belly, filling chest. And then exhale. And again, let's invite a little pause at the top of the breath. Inhaling. Pause. And exhale. And one more time like that. Inhale. Pause. And exhale. And now we'll come to a twist. So we can start by, again, inhaling, reaching up, and then twisting to the right. So landing that left hand to your right knee. Right hand can grab your chair or reach behind you and prop you up. And on your inhales, you want to focus on lifting and lengthening a nice, long, strong spine. And on the exhale, you focus on the twist. So moving a little more, ever so slightly, into the twist itself. And doing so with your own breath. The inhale lifts you up, lengthening, and exhale, twisting. Your head can stay facing forward, or you can invite your head to look over your back shoulder for a little bit more of a twist. Again, doing what feels good for you today in this moment. It'll be different day to day, even from moment to moment. Again, always rooting in our breath, making sure we continue to breathe even when we're in a pose. And then on your next inhale, raising your arms up, nice and tall. And then we come to the other side. So taking your right hand to your left knee, left hand comes behind you, props you up. Inhaling, lifting, tall, lengthening, and exhale, twist. And following with your breath. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. And then on your next inhale, lengthening both arms up, reaching tall, hands to heart center, and then release. Maybe giving some shoulder rolls, one direction, and then the other. Just loosening up, maybe some circles of the hands one way and then the other. And then as you're ready, coming to hands and knees on your mat to our table position. Hands below arms, knees below hips. And of course, if you're in your chair, just both feet firmly rooted on the ground and knees above ankles. And just landing here for a moment, reconnecting to your breath. The inhale and the exhale. One more inhale and exhale. And then inviting in our cat and cow movements. So inhale, leading with the chest, opening up, dropping belly, hips and chest up. And then on the exhale, opposite direction. So arching your back, dropping your chest, dropping your hips. And then flowing in that way with your breath. So inhale, opening, leading with your chest, dropping your belly. And then exhale, arching your back. And just flow in that way with your breath. So your movement will depend on the rate of your breath. So if you're breathing more quickly, your movement will be faster. And if you have a slow breath, your movement will be slow. And there's no right or wrong or one way that's better than the other. Maybe even explore a little bit and quicken your breath and your movement, and then slow it and see how that feels. And if you want to invite in additional movement, maybe some curves side to side, making a C curve with the spine, one way and then the other, or maybe making some circles with the hips, one direction and the other. Feel free to do so. Maybe coming back and forward, or just sticking with the cat and cow. Whatever feels good for today. But no matter what you're doing, rooting it in the breath. And then landing back to our tabletop position. Nice sturdy tabletop. Hands rooted below your shoulders, knees below hips. And then we'll invite in our balance. So as we do every week, inviting our right arm up and our left leg back. So your left leg can land on your toe, or you can invite it up for additional balance. And as you're balancing, not holding your breath, making sure you're rooting it in the breath, continuing the inhale and the exhale, and then releasing. And other side, so left arm, right leg. Maybe inviting that leg up and rooting it all in your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. And then landing. And again, the most important thing is to not hold your breath, particularly in challenging poses, which tend to be our balances and our warrior poses. Those are oftentimes when we forget to breathe or hold our breath because it's so challenging, but it is actually the most important time to continue breathing. So other side again, right arm, left leg. Land and left arm, right leg. And as I've said before, this is actually a great practice because we can practice our breath as a tool and land in moments that are challenging, but moments that we choose to be challenged, that are in control. So something simple as a pose that we have a lot of control over, other side, we can practice accessing our breath as a tool in these challenges. And then if you want to invite in the crunch, bring elbow to knee in the middle. And then lengthening back out to straight and landing. And other side, left arm, right leg. So purposeful challenges so we can access our breath, practice accessing our breath. And if you want to invite the crunch, elbow to knee, meet in the middle. Then we lengthen back out and then land. And then here you can push back to your child's pose. So bringing your hips towards your feet, your knees can be as close or as far apart as feels good. And then just coming forward, head to mat and landing here. And this could be a good spot to reflect back on your mantra or your intention. Maybe sensing that energy with you or repeating the phrase in your mind.
Danielle?
Yes.
Danielle?
Yes, can you hear me?
I think it froze on me. Danielle's frozen. Oh well. It's fun while it lasted.
Can you hear me?
Well, the only people I can see are Danielle and me. All the rest are blank. I'm muted. Am I muted? Huh? Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Let's see who else is there. Mary Mehmet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in class. See, she's frozen like that.
She hurt her back.
No, she hasn't moved.
Are you all able to hear me?
Danielle.
Why don't you go out and back in again?
Is everyone able to hear me?
Oh,
I can hear you, Danielle.
Oh, you can, okay.
We can hear you, Danielle. We're all on mute for your class.
Okay, I heard someone talking saying
Someone did call out. I don't know if it's someone who just joined.
Okay. But you can all see I'm not frozen, right?
No.
No,
Okay,
you're
great.
fine. You're fine.
Thank
See you and hear you.
Yep.
All right, so coming back up to our tabletop position again. Landing here. And then we will invite in our thread the needle. So a nice stretch for the shoulders. Inhaling our right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, threading it through the left arm. And again, we'll flow twice before we land on the third time. So threading through, inhaling arm up to the sky. Exhale, threading through. Inhaling arm up to the sky. Exhale, threading through. And this time, if it feels comfortable, landing. Head and shoulder onto the mat. And if you're in a seated position, you can invite that right arm across your body, grabbing it with your left arm and giving yourself a big hug. Stretching that arm across your body. And as always, rooting in your breath. And then as you're ready, on your next inhale, inhaling that arm back up to the sky, reaching high, and then landing it on the mat. And you're back in your table. And now for our other side. So inhaling our left arm up, reaching high. Exhale, threading it through. Inhale, reaching tall. Exhale, threading through. Inhale, reaching for the sky. Exhale, threading through and landing. Landing on that left shoulder, left cheek. And if you're in a chair, inviting that left arm across your body and giving yourself a nice hug, hugging that arm in. Rooting yourself in your breath. The inhale and the exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. And then as you're ready, on your next inhale, inviting that arm up to the sky and then landing it. And maybe pushing back one more time into your child's pose and inviting in an intentional breath. Nice deep inhale and exhale. This time again, inhaling through the nose, filling belly, filling chest, and maybe opening your mouth and giving a nice deep exhale sigh. One more time in that way, inhaling, filling belly, filling chest, and a nice deep exhale, opening your mouth. And as you're ready, pushing back up and taking your time, coming to a standing position at the top of your mat. And again, you can have a chair nearby for balance. But taking time to land, find your spot, and rooting in through your feet, getting a nice strong foundation. All four corners of your feet rooted into the ground, hugging in, hugging your muscles into your bones, hugging your legs up into your hips, really feeling that very active posture. Having a nice, long, tall spine, inviting your shoulders up and back, and landing here. Taking a nice deep inhale and exhale. And one more, inhale and exhale. And now we'll invite in our flow. So on our inhale, inviting our arms up overhead, and then exhale, folding forward. Inhale to lift halfway, landing your hands on your thighs or on your shins, wherever feels good for today, but having a nice flat back. Your gaze, your eyes are kind of looking just ahead of your mat on the floor. Nice long straight spine, flat back. And then on your next exhale, folding forward again. Inhale, rising up, nice and tall. And exhale, hands to heart center. And do that again. So inhaling, arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. And this time we'll add just a little bit, something different. Inhaling, arms up, reaching tall. Then on the exhale, we'll bring our left hand forward and our right hand back. So kind of twisting to the side. So one arm going forward, one arm going back. On an inhale, back up to center. On our exhale, we go in the other way. So right arm forward, left arm back. Inhale, coming back up to center, nice and tall. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, rising high. Exhale, hands to heart center. And one more time with that added piece, inhaling up. Exhale, twisting left arm forward, right arm back. Inhaling back up to center, twisting in the other way. Right arm forward, left arm back. Inhaling up to center. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, rising tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. And landing here for a moment. Returning to your inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. And now we come to our warrior series. So from the top of your mat, stepping back with the right foot and making sure your feet, setting yourself up so your feet aren't in a single line, but instead have some space for balance. Your back foot is at a bit of an angle, and find what feels good for your body. Front foot is facing forward, and then that front knee bends. So the bend, your knee is over your ankle, and to start, both of our hips are facing forwards. And then when you feel lined up, inviting your arms up overhead, warrior one. Again, here, inhale and exhale. And then from here, opening up to warrior two. So back arm goes back, front arm is forward, knee is still bent, but now both of the hips are facing to the side. So finding your position here. And remember, as always, if this starts to feel too challenging, you can always straighten for a moment and then come back in. And once you feel stable in your feet, inviting your arms up, back arm, checking that back arm, make sure it's where you think it is, coming out nice and straight from your back shoulder. Front arm is forward. Your gaze, your eyes are over the middle finger of that front arm. Front knee is bent. Inhale and exhale. And then reversing the warrior. So flipping that palm, dropping your back arm and reaching up and back. Again, you can always straighten, come back in if you need. Breathing here. And then inhaling back, warrior two. Inhale, exhale. And now side angle. So inviting that forearm to come down to your thigh and then circling your top arm up. So you have a nice long line, your arms over your ear. Again, inhale and exhale. And then inhale pulls you back up, warrior two. And maybe bringing hands to hips and stepping back up to the front of your mat. Landing here, Rooting yourself, finding your breath, and just noticing. Maybe noticing how one side feels a little different than the other in this moment. Rooting in your breath, the inhale, and the exhale. And then we take it to the other side. So stepping back with that left foot and setting yourself up. Again, nice space between the legs for balance. Left foot is at a slight angle. Front foot is facing forward. And then bending that front leg. You want knee over ankle. To start, both hips facing forward. And when you feel ready, when you feel stable in this position, lower body feels good, invite your arms up. Warrior one. Nice deep inhale and exhale. One more here, inhale and exhale. And then opening up to warrior two. So front arm forward, back arm coming out nice and straight back. Front knee still bent. Now hips are facing the side. Nice and strong. Inhale and exhale. And then reversing our warrior. So flipping that front palm, dropping the back arm, leaning back, arm up. Inhale, exhale. And then an inhale, pulling yourself back up, warrior two. Inhale and exhale. And now side angle on this side. So bringing the forearm down, biting your arm up. Nice long line here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale brings you up. Another deep inhale and exhale. So strong. And then as you're ready, maybe hands come to hips, stepping back to center. Landing here. Nice strong mountain pose. Feet are grounded. Very active pose. Hugging your legs in, muscles into the bone. Hugging your legs up into your hips. Very active and engaged. Pulling your belly in towards your spine. Nice and tall. Maybe shoulders up and back. Head straight. And perhaps inviting your eyes to close for a moment, if that feels good today. Or just having a loose gaze. Being mindful of your breath. And perhaps reflecting again on your intention or the mantra that you set. Inviting it back into your awareness. And then as you're ready, we'll come into our balance. So our tree pose. Staying strongly rooted in that left leg and inviting your right leg to feel light and to come up wherever it's going to land today. Again, you can always have a chair next to you for support or balance, or in front of you to hold on to. You can have a kickstand. You could invite your foot to your lower leg. Reach down, bring it to your upper leg. Wherever you feel like you want to land today. But have it be an active pose. So not just for the lifting leg, but also strong and intentional in the standing leg. Hugging the muscles in. Maybe notice what it feels like to actively push with the other foot. So bringing some effort into the lifted leg. Then inviting hands to heart center. Returning to your breath. And notice that you flow a little bit. You move. Maybe you fall out and come back, and that's okay. It's all part of the process. I'm being surrounded by trees here. I can see that they are never still. There's always some slight movement or big movement, but it's always a process. Maybe growing your tree, arms up overhead. Nice, deep inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. And then hands through heart center and release. Landing here, a nice deep breath in and out. And then inviting the same pose on our other side. So inviting strength through the right leg, lightness through the left, and coming to wherever you're going to land today. Hands to heart center. Deep inhale and exhale. Maybe your tree grows, arms overhead. And then hands through heart center and release. Taking another breath here. Nice deep inhale and exhale. And then taking your time to come to a seated position on your mat. Legs out in front. Maybe give the legs a little wiggle. Making sure you're nice and tall. Perhaps wiggling your sits bones a little bit. Make sure they're on the mat. And then again, we're going to do our, as we do every week, our forward fold. So you want to sit tall, have a nice long spine. And then we're going to come forward, leading with our chest. So you may not come down very far at all, but the most important thing is to have a straight, come with a straight back, leading with your chest. And again, if you have a strap or a belt or a towel, you can use that and wrap it around your feet and do the pose in that way. You can also do a more restorative version where you stack up your bolsters and pillows and kind of lean forward on them. Or you can land your hands on the mat or anywhere on your leg. And if it feels comfortable, invite your eyes to close. Gives you a little more opportunity for openness in the pose. And coming forward, leading with your chest. Having a straight back, coming into your forward fold. So leaning your body towards your legs, but knowing that you probably won't get very close, and that's absolutely okay. And rooting yourself in your breath, the inhale and the exhale. And again, sometimes having your eyes closed here can give you a little more opportunity to open, to come into the pose. Releasing a bit more with your exhale. And then as you're ready, on your inhale, dropping your head and rolling up one vertebra at a time to a nice straight back. And then swinging your feet around. You're going to take the option for a restorative child's pose. So I don't have any of my bolsters or pillows here, but what you want to do is take your rolled up blankets or your bolster and invite it in towards your body, bringing your knees close or far, just experiment with that. But build yourself a nice stack in front of you. And you're going to come forward like in a child's pose, but you're going to come onto that bolster or blanket or towels. So it's a supported child's pose. So you're coming forward into child's pose and resting your cheek to the side on your pillows. So cheek is on the pillows, you're resting on the pillows. And this should be a nice restorative version of our child's pose. Rooting in your breath. Maybe taking again an opportunity to bring your attention to the intention you set or the mantra you created and focusing on that. And then flipping your other cheek to rest on the pillows. And just being bathed in the energy of your intention or mantra, feeling that surround you. And then as you're ready, pushing back up, coming to seated, and then we're going to come to lying on our backs. So if you're on the mat, coming to lying on your mat, you can absolutely do this in your chair as well. Coming flat on the mat and then landing both of your feet on the mat with your knees pointed up. And then once you land here, inviting that right ankle up and over your left thigh. So resting the right ankle on the left thigh. And you can stay here, or you can invite your hands around that left thigh, pulling both legs in towards your chest. Both of your feet are flexed. And then landing here. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Or just focusing on nothing in particular. And just bringing attention to your breath. The inhale and the exhale. And then as you're ready, hugging both knees into the chest, giving yourself a nice big hug, maybe rocking a little side to side. And then landing both feet back on the mat, taking it to the other side. So inviting the left ankle over right thigh, hands threading through perhaps, inviting both legs towards your body, both feet are flexed.
Then as you're ready, hugging both knees into the chest. Again, you can rock a little bit. And then with both knees in, dropping both knees to the right side. And you may want to kind of scoot your hips back a little bit, but landing both of your knees to the right and then bringing your arms out in a T position. So both arms coming straight out, both knees are dropped to the right side. And you can stay here, or you can invite your eyes, your head to face over the left shoulder. So your gaze is going in the opposite direction of your knees. And if that feels like a little bit too much of a stretch, of a twist, then you can just keep your head focused in the same direction as your knees. Landing here, bringing your attention to your breath. Inhale and the exhale. And then as you're ready, no rush, inviting both knees back into center, centering your hips if you move them a bit, hugging knees into chest. And then as you're ready, dropping both knees over to the left. And again, you may want to scoot your hips a little bit more to the right. Both knees drop to the left, and arms come out straight from the sides. T position. And your head can come to face in the opposite direction of your knees. But if that feels like too much of a twist for today, just keep your head in the same direction. Again, landing here, focusing on your breath. And if thoughts come in, just noticing them, not judging yourself for thinking or for what the thoughts are, just noticing them, maybe saying thought, just identifying it as a thought and then letting it float away. Kind of float by like clouds in the sky, just passing through, bringing attention back to the breath. Then as you're ready, hugging knees back into chest. Maybe a little rock here. And then inviting your inversion. So we're gonna do our legs up the wall or waterfall pose. And if you want, you can do this supported with a prop, a block, or multiple blocks, or a pillow under you. If you're gonna use a prop, that land both feet, lift your hips, slide your blocks or your pillow under your hips, and then land your hips back down. Or you can just invite your legs straight up. So either a prop under you or just with hips on the ground, but inviting your legs up towards the sky. And again, as always, bringing your attention to your breath. Nice, nourishing inhale and exhale. These inversions are so good for calming, for regulating our stress. Rooted in your breath. And then as you're ready, hugging knees into your chest, nice big hug. And then perhaps inviting your feet to land on the mat and then the soles of your feet to meet. So bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall out to the side. And from here, you can adjust the intensity on your hips by bringing your feet further down your mat or closer to your hips. And just maybe experiment and see how that feels. Find a spot that feels good and let your hips open. You can also stack blocks or pillows under knees on both sides or under your thighs on both sides to help support this pose. Landing here, maybe your palms come to face up. And landing, and again, returning to breath. The inhale and the exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And if this feels great, you can stay here. Otherwise, hugging knees back into chest, giving yourself a little rock. And then coming to your final resting position. So maybe bringing your legs down straight, feet falling open, hands reaching up to the sky. Maybe you want to try your relaxation on your belly, one cheek to the mat. Just taking your time to come to and find that final place of relaxation, a place where you can find calmness and peace, and give yourself the opportunity to integrate the work that you have done today. And just landing here and breathing. Closing your eyes as that feels comfortable.
listening to the sounds around you. Perhaps hearing the birds around me. Just noticing, not judging. And now recall a moment of loving presence with another person or a moment of deep gratitude. Bring that recollection into your heart and mind. Allow yourself to recall that moment as fully as you can, as a way of igniting your direct experience with care, with kindness. Imagine this person sitting before you right now, taking joy in you and wishing you well. Feel the joy and the happiness being exchanged between the two of you. That soft opening and acceptance, that allowing and relaxing that naturally happens when you are in the presence of a dear one or a precious moment. Don't let this just be a thought. Let the body experience the thought, the memory. Let yourself be in touch and be touched by this recollection in this very moment. Taking time to allow every cell of your body to be bathed in loving presence. Rest here in the warmth of this recollection. Now, with gratitude, allow the image of the person to fade away, but maintaining the essence of loving presence, that powerful quality of kindness and care. As you are in this essence of genuine care, use your entire body as you repeat the following phrases silently to yourself, allowing each word to touch you with care. May I be safe from inner and outer harm. May I be happy and content. May I be healthy and strong. May I live with ease and well-being. May whatever blocks my heart be dissolved. May I know joy and freedom. May I have food, shelter, and good care. May I be free from animosity and hatred. May I know peace. May I be a good friend to myself. Then begin to invite your attention back to your breath, breathing in an intentional way. And at the same time, holding in that feeling of kindness and kindness towards self. And as you're ready, inviting a movement and beginning to return to the seated position that we all began in. taking your time to get there, maybe rolling to one side and resting there a moment. Making your way up to seated. Again, all throughout, holding on to that kindness, recognizing the kindness others have towards us, feeling that, and also holding kindness for ourselves, which sometimes is the most challenging part. And ending practice together with 2 deep breaths, inviting hands to heart center, inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling. And one more time, inhaling and exhaling. Thank you all for your presence here for today, for sharing in this practice all together. And please carry that feeling of kindness with you throughout your day, sharing it with others, but also holding it for yourself. Be well. Thank you. Namaste.